weekly tournaments, but it is still a brand that has resonated with Brazilian Free Fire since the first gen, the year zero, when Corinthians won the first ever world championship. Fluxo is a very good successor to that era. It's just my only gripe is how slow they play. And I think I want to see a bit more, because I know Fluxo can get aggressive, they can get down and dirty, but with how slow it looks, at some point you have to switch it up. Maybe this round 3 is going to be the turning point.
I think that's key what you just said there, right? Aggression, but it's always calculated aggression. They are capable of it, but they are always calculating as to when to get in and to get into some of these hot battles. They've been playing it very slow for the first 2 games. Obviously, in Bermuda, they kind of got caught off guard a tad bit outside the circle as they were heading into Factory. Second game, it's always a Thai team at this point of time.
The key, and hop into game number 3 is Kalahari, one of my favorite maps. But according to what Raja says, some of these Brazilian teams prefer the El Clasico. But Kalahari is not one of those maps, but at least the flight path is very forgiving. Right through the middle, Refinery is going to be a hot spot for the Indonesians.
And the knockout stage leaders at this point of time will be your Free Fire at EWC 2024 champions, Team Falcons. How about that? From not performing well at all during their run at FFWSC to heading on into EWC and starting off things at the very top, they must be really excited. But of course, let's see if or not consistency would be their key to continue dominating out there. And very early on, Aim God is about to be aimed at.
And that's the brutality of competitive Free Fire, right? It really doesn't matter how you start. The only thing that matters is the end result. As much as it sucks to hear that, only the end result matters. Only those who can step up when all the chips are down is going to come out on top. And at least that's the lesson that Team Falcons taught us last year. Refinery used to be a hotspot for Indonesian teams, right now taken over by Vision System.
And a very slow start here at Kalahari, which is going to be deadly because all the teams will have their hands on those coin machines and, enough room to purchase those hook guns, and rotation around the battlefield is going to be super easy. These snipers are going to have a tough time finding their mark when everybody's hopping up and down. Oh, okay, the airdrop's a little bit upside down this time around, but it's okay.
For us, scoring a jackpot right off the bat, getting an airdrop. Couldn't have a better starter. He was the one that just instantly got into a vehicle and started driving the moment he dropped, right? Around the maze, which is one of the few deadly areas, at least in SCA. For some reason, people like to fight in the maze, but if you get control and you get access to a vehicle early on, you get these kind of luxury. And let's hope it pays off for Virtus Pro. They have a good spot to rotate to. They're scanning north side. Well, at least I think it's AGAL that dropped the Arvon and scan Nameless. AGAL are on the northern end of Foundation.
And we get a quick shot here of Vision as well. They had Vision that they perhaps may be able to find a few extra points out here up against Virtus Pro. And straight in they go, looking for the hunt at the maze. AGAL would have definitely seen them flying on in as well. So it doesn't mean Vision System has got the upper hand here. It's all up until AGAL decides to drop by and say hello, Nameless. Almost got put down there.
And I just said that teams like to fight here, and it's good to see it being quiet, but Vision System is here to change it, that they don't want to play by the book. Vitality against Team Falcons, one body for another on fire. Blasted from the back by Evo's Divine. Falcons surrounded by the Indonesians.
Absolutely, Falcons were going in for the hunt onto Vitality, but saved by the appearance of EVOS ESports now. Aingot Rasya all up at the top, dropping player after player limit. Question is, did he hit that revival before running on out? The team survives for a little bit longer. Limit getting the deed done, purchasing an insurance policy for the squad, keeping Falcons in. We saw this in Bermuda, almost on the wipeout list, and then they made a comeback for the Booyah, so we can't count them out just yet.
Of course not, but on Kalahari, so much harder, right? So much more open ground that you need to be careful about. Jump getting knocked by GU, and CXK now have to deal with Fluxo. That's the Riptide Rhythm. It breaks wall faster now in this new update, and Don will have to back off. Cougar being able to sidestep and take cover. Fluxo down to just GU and MT7.
The plasma gun one that we have not seen in a long time in meta, is finally back with a bang. GU spots out Senzi. Down you go, baby. AWM not quick enough. And GU will instantly pick up that elimination for himself. But here's the problem though, Core Memory, they are outnumbering the players of Fluxo. Butch is in as well as Pops down on the ground. Eliminated too early. No vending machine in the area for a quick revival as well.
Great rotation from GU, does have the gun to facilitate that, but Don does not want to let him get away. Actually sees the jump, the timing a bit off for Don, couldn't really take ground to get a couple of shots off, so GU once more gets into cover, but Don wants the chase. He has backup coming in, and GU now will have a 1v2 on his hands.
Oi, doesn't pull out the sniper just yet, but look at this, Don chasing GU straight into the hands of Limit, perhaps who's actually on a revival spree, bringing back the rest of his team members. GU caught in a really tough spot here. And the impressive thing is Core Memory just sending in 2 players on for the hunt. They do understand that Fluxo does have another player alive and kicking out there on the battlefield. GU has the right gun, but doesn't have the numbers on his side. Too low on HP. Cougar with the M590 puts him out.
Double kill.
Pretty tough to fight in this environment when you are outnumbered, but a good attempt from GU. Fluxo still in the running with 2 extra members, so a revival must have came through at some point. A couple of highlights from the earlier stage of the round. We see Falcons and Vitality duking it out before Evo Divine shows up and just shut the show down.
Yeah, absolutely. And Vitality obviously really happy with that situation. They got to scurry away, hit those revivals, and back in here with a full squad. Unfortunately, though, they haven't brought any points up onto the board just yet. Vision System spotting out potential opponents here. Went in for the chase earlier on, but will drop back now to check out what AGAL is all about. Jota with the Tatsuya and the Oscar has got a double dash there in hand, so he's going to be pretty deadly. They're probably going to give him a little bit of extra confidence as well, but instantly that confidence taken away by Cypher and his headshot. AC-80 to the head, and will put the players of Vision System on the back foot as they try to get away.
Instant disengage for Vision System. Virtus Pro will have to face up against Pain Gaming right here at Mammoth. Plenty of open grounds, plenty of crevices that you can hide yourself in and pop up for an ambush. Blue Wall Mountain, Ice Grenade, both Tona, and that singular Blue Wall. Goose and Peter drops another 2. It's going to take some time for VP to break right through, but enough time for Exposy from behind. Finds the penetration, and VP are looking for a cleanup, but Noda X and Motovia are fighting back valiantly. Pain Gaming not willing to go down without dealing a couple of blows on their own, but Peter goes right down. Fuarang is in the red zone, and Pain Gaming prevails.
And that Riptide rhythm breaking down anything that they had to defend themselves up against the shots of Pain Gaming. They sure as hell brought the pain down onto Virtus Pro. Instantly snuffing out their hopes very early on here. This may just be that comeback map for the Brazilian squad.
Danny hit the nail on the head on the panel, right?
Yeah.
Teams that get Booyah finds confidence, and then they blow out the next round. VP being cursed by that, but Pain Gaming really stepping it up. Might have heard what Hotshot said during the clip. Cypher finds a freebie on the Maxi, and that's the last vistage of Vision System out in 11th.
Well, thank God Hotshot didn't take the Booyah then. They still have an opportunity to pick up a few more points out there. AGL on the hunt. Vision System, they were the aggressive ones initially. AGL didn't even play the third party. They just bided their time, waiting for that opportunity. And it all started off with an AC-80 by Cypher. Vision System out early once again.
I know we have a lot of disagreements about Kalahari, but I think one thing we can agree on is that a slow Kalahari game is the scariest game of all.
Oh yeah.
With so much open area. We're seeing Dinoculus being pulled out. Couple of knocks on the kill feed. Ray finding Cypher. Rotation from Team Falcons finding some safe haven. Here comes Evo Divine, who have recollected their footstep and retraced it straight to AGAL and find 6 points, but they're on the hunt for more. Dew in the red has a revival point, but there's no time for any static movement, so Evo's Divine will keep on chasing.
Oh, but Evo's in trouble though. Pain Gaming rotating towards their compound at the very same time, and Evo's a tad bit too busy on the hunt here, looking for the final player on the side of AGAL. Gochil will be able to spot him. This is the best shot, and the jump pad allows him to survive a little bit long, just a slightly bit. And Pain Gaming, on the other hand, pulling the brakes instantaneously, not wanting to drop by this compound too early. Evo's Divine finding Chinoy, but the revival for AGAL was pretty phenomenal at that vending machine, so he got his job done.
Pain Gaming found a better bounty than dealing with Evil's Divine. Is the revived member, the freshly returned members of AGAL. And that's free pickings for Pain Gaming if they can find them around member. Core Memory going for an extremely late rotation, just passing through Stone Rage to the south and south of the map. They're gonna reach the sub in just a little bit where Fluxo is holding ground, but you can see that Pain Gaming, they've already found a couple of numbers on AGAL.
Yeah. Core Memory, the fastest vehicle they can find out there on the deserts of Kalahari probably won't give them much. Will protect them from some of the elevation as drop off of these cliffs. And Pain Gaming, on the other hand, 6 eliminations strong. A beautiful start for this Brazilian squad this time round, with Motovia and Gus finally finding that high octane action on their side, and they are not on the losing end for the time being. And I think chaos is about to befall all of us here, Husky. Only 2 teams out of the equation so far, and this is not a huge map at all.
No, it's like a volcano about to erupt, right? You can see, you can already feel the tectonic plates, the friction. They're about to slide off each other's equilibrium, and when that happens, the eruption is going to be uncontrollable. We are seeing Core Memory, AGAL, and Fluxo collide at the sub. That could kind of narrow down some of the numbers on this map. Bob's finding Chinoy. Fluxo getting a couple of eliminations under their belt as well. Bob's with the first grenade elimination on this map.
Well, Core Memory has got the advantage here. Fluxo out in the open. Cougar spotted him out already. But as they take damage from the circle, question is when they go in for that strike. A good double blue wall erected instantaneously. Bob saving the squad with the defense. And now the grenade laid. Oh, what a grenade by Bobs! And that instantaneously dismantles the squad of Core Memory. They can't get away just yet.
What a 3-pointer from this man. 2 back-to-back grenades. The triple jump and MT7 finds a Zensi. Core Memory stood no chance in this fight where they should have had the advantage. And now the rest of Core Memory are going to get dispatched one by one. Butchers it and Bobs comes in. That's a double for Fluxo. 6 points.
And that's the snipe shot I was looking for, MT7. He delivers. Looking for Don now from afar. Finally, Fluxo are the aggressors. 6 eliminations strong. What a stand-up performance here at the sub. But now, dealing with the circle, making it into the next safe zone is going to be a little bit of a problem because they're heading straight in towards the confines of Refinery. High ground action once again might just put them out of the count. They need to depend on those jump pads as well as a couple of scans out of those binoculars.
Red Hawks are about to engage with Hotshot ESports as Hotshot started firing at Flicker. They did take the jump pad to rotate from Refinery towards the southern end of the compound. AGAL doing the same thing, about to land right on top of Great Falcons too. Gotta be ready, and he absolutely is, but Vitality is behind him. Gotta pick a poison.
Oh, what a rotation here by you. But he's gonna get shot at by 3 squads at the same time, and it is the Pakistani players that get that shot in action with the cord of all guns bumped in the season and performing really well in the hands of the Asian squads.
We see a Dynopsis scan as well. 5 players being scanned out. I think it should be courtesy of Red Hawks as Core Memory gets eliminated in 10th place. 9 teams remain. Here comes Evil's Divine about to fight the compatriots from Indonesia. Vitality right on their radar. Evil's Divine on the hunt.
Evil's Divine, one of the leaders at this day 1, looking to continue their prowl into the next circle, but Alpha showing up out of nowhere. Let's see if or not they can get away from this one, because Evils knows exactly what they need to knock down. Vitality standing right in front of Alpha 34. R7 rotating around. Hook gun to get him out of trouble, but they all get sprayed down. By who? By the players of Hot Shots of everyone. At the high ground, they take advantage.
Alpha 34 with that rotation. What was that? They signed their death sentence just with that move without enough information. Evil's Divine now gets to move on forward. They gotta bring Ray back up, and they do just that. Ray back up to full. Vitality holding behind this container. Azure 25 has a huge job to do. Sees Kochu, tags him a little bit, forcing Evil's Divine back into this factory area, this garage, this warehouse. And that's gonna slow them down for a bit, but Pain Gaming now arrives.
Hotshot versus Red Hawks. That's a battle that we are about to see. And Falcons, yet another Red Hawk on into the mix as well. Then some hot action about to kick off on the opposite side of the battlefield. And we get the hit time. AGAL, the Jar takes him down. VSS time, baby. Sanjit fights one for the squad as well, but the container, all the Falcons have for in terms of defense.
Red Hawk is playing on the low ground as well as Foxo now receives some fire, not just from Hotshot, but also from Team Falcons. Limit with the Riptide Rhythm is going to make it even tougher for Foxo. They're putting up the blue walls, and it's just enough, but a second one comes through. Foxo could not catch a break at all, but a couple of containers is going to keep them safe for now. Pain Gaming out.
Using the terrain to their advantage. Great play from Fluxo to not waste their glue walls, and they are on the very edge of the next zone as well. So not a lot of space to rotate around. Therefore, Fluxo should be in that final circle. The rest of the chaos about to go down now. But Hotshots with that high ground advantage. Falcons wants to call their shot here, meeting them halfway.
And Peter has already found Anas, and this is already not a good start for Hotshot. Can they hold on? Sajin gonna get knocked down by Kororo. The just his demise is down in this tree for Hotshot. They need to hold this ground. Falcons knows that. The takeover is one step to completion. Kororo from the flank couldn't find an entry in, but Hotshot, they got a lot coming their way.
Yeah, the Steffi was pulled out a tad bit too late, but it does defend them from a couple of grenades. Now Hotshot's barricaded by their own glue walls. Falcons finally making their way around, but yet another defensive glue wall pulled out. But that one falls like a paper wall. Final survival left here on the side of Hotshot. And Falcons are not slowing down just yet. Action gets away for the time being, but that's about the end of it. As Peter pulls away the final player from the side of Hotshot Esports.
Either death by the hands of Falcons or by Fluxo. But with that takeover, Falcons currently, at least for this moment, is going to have some space to breathe. It's a good area to be on this high ground, but the circle is to move away from that. Evo survive 14 eliminations as they now face off against Red Hawks on the low ground.
Come on, man. Consistency is key, and Red Hawks are kicking it out there. Still alive. But 5 squads remaining here. Make that 4 as Cypher shows up in front of Peter, who's on absolute fire in this final circle. Circle's moving on. Fluxo doesn't really need to rotate all that too far. Limit with the smart plays, with the glue wall melters before those defenses can even be erected.
This is going to be a tough rotation. Red Hawks wants to make the first move, but Aimgod finds Blade. And there's not really much time to bring him back out the glue walls. Desperately being thrown to protect him, but could just ends up being a victim of that. And the rest of Evil Divine are going to show up to clean up what they started. Blade takes out Ray with the trip mine, and that's pretty much it. Red Hawks out in 4th.
Out in 4th, Fluxo down by 1 man. They've got a little bit too little in their tank box with the rotation. Jump pad now right in front of Evo's Fluxo. I don't know if or not they are calling the gods of shots straight towards them, but now Falcons at the very top. They wanted double booyah at the start of the day, and they may just as well pull this one off.
Again, they took over where Hotshot was, and it gave them the best position to work with. High ground leverage, and on top of that, good rotation into this moving circle. Evil Divine getting dispatched left, right, and center. Falcons with 9 eliminations under their belt. Ball's about to run into Peter. This is a good angle for them to go for the swing.
Now, he was kind of slowing things down a tad bit. Falcons are in trouble. Fluxo knows exactly the kind of danger that awaits them from up above. Those grenades could come raining down on them, but everybody's waiting for that circle to close on down. This one is now turning out to be a troublesome situation. Do we depend on those medkits, or do we depend on some 5-second pandemonium as Butch is in fights? Aimgod puts him down 6 feet under as well. Evos has no chance to pull the booyah.
That is good for Fluxo. They got 3 members left. They just have to hold this ground. Start by taking out Evo's Esports, because that is the contender. That is going to be the one, the team that is challenging them for space. But if they can hold this, they are going to force Fluxo to play level.
Yeah, it ain't over till it's over. Fluxo, a slow start indeed, but Peter, M592 the head, puts down bombs. Your MVP from the global stage, and without him, this one gets a tad bit more difficult. Pushes it down as well. Gio, the final survivor, taken out of the equation, and the one and only Falcons, your champions of Free Fire EWC 24, showing that they can rise up to the top when they want to.
booyahs in 3 rounds. Falcons built to withstand hardship, built to withstand altitude, and built to withstand the desert of Kalahari. Another clean round, great understanding of rotation. Hush was the key, and Falcons swoop in on that.
Brother, in Bermuda beats, they almost got wiped out. One